What's going on, boys and girls? We're getting ready to do a really quick video here. Yeah, I got me a haircut today. I'm looking good now. Look at that. You can see the shine on my head. And I'm turning color too, but that's another story. We're going to do an egg drop soup, my version of an egg drop soup. Hope you enjoyed this video. Alrighty, some of these ingredients are going to be pretty obvious. Of course, you're going to start off with some eggs. You're going to have for your vegetables. You can use some scallions. I'm going to use an onion, and we're going to use a rainbow pepper. We're going to use some freeze-dried chives. This is house special seasoning. It's a combination of salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. We're going to use a little bit of cornstarch, a little bit of sugar, and we're going to use a little bit of white wine as well too. And of course, we're going to use some chicken stock too. You can use the salted or the unsalted. This right here is actually the salted version of it. First of all, we're going to start sauteing our onions and our bell peppers or our rainbow peppers. So we got a pan here that's got some avocado oil in it. We're also going to go ahead and put in the whole quart of that chicken stock there on the other pan. So that can be coming up to a boil here. So we can kind of multitask here a little bit. All right, we're going to let that one come up to a boil. All right, we just did a rough chop of our onions and our rainbow peppers. You can see this onion was starting to grow, so I had to use it now. That doesn't hurt you, you know. It might add a little bit of tartness to it somewhat, but actually you really can't tell when you have that growth in there whatsoever. At least I can't. All right, we're going to saute those until they're nice and glistening here. And then once they're sauteed, we're just going to put those over to the side, and then we'll add those at the end. Alrighty, while that's warming up, we're going to add our half a teaspoon of our house special seasoning. We're going to add about a half a teaspoon of our sugar as well. You don't have to use the sugar, but it kind of tames it up somewhat. And we're going to add about a teaspoon of our chives. Just all while it's warming up here. Kind of stir that in. We're going to put in a tablespoon of white wine. Alrighty, our white wine is totally optional though, but they say in traditional Chinese egg drop soup, they do use the white wine in it as well. And it's not enough to get you drunk, so I don't think you're going to get all toasted from drinking a tablespoon of white wine. All right, now we're going to put two tablespoons of cornstarch in a fourth of a cup of just regular water, guys. And we're going to use this in the egg drop soup to kind of help thicken it up somewhat. All righty, our onions and rainbow peppers have sauteed enough. We're going to take those off here. All right, now we're going to add in our cornstarch mixture here. And again, this is just to kind of thicken it up somewhat. Because we want it to be, we don't want it to be real watery. We want it kind of thick and soupy. And we're going to let that cook for just a little while there. Not long, it shouldn't take very long to thicken up. All right, while this thickening up, we're going to go ahead and mix our eggs up thoroughly so that they're more of a uniform consistency. Oh, we also want to add about a tablespoon of water in there as well. All right, we're going to put a tablespoon of water in there. That's just going to make the eggs a little bit more fluffier. So they say. So they say. Alrighty, we've got it as soupy as we want it to be. We don't want it like gravy now. We just want it kind of soupy, but we don't want to have it like water either. So that's about the way we want it. We're going to take this off the heat. And we're just going to let that sit till it no longer has any bubbles in it. Right now it's got a bunch of bubbles in it. We don't want those bubbles to be in there. All right, something else to remember too, or that you need to know, make sure you put your egg mixture into like a measuring cup or something that has a spout, because this makes it so it's easy to pour in strands. All right, now this is the key, is to put the eggs in there in one direction, guys. Do little strands just like this, go in one direction. I'm going clockwise here, because you don't want it to be a big old glob of egg in there. You want this to be in strands. So we're going around in a circle here. Okay, now we're going to let that sit for about a minute or so, and then we're going to put it back on the heat for about 1 minute or until it comes up to a boil, and then we'll stop the heat. All righty, it's been about a minute. We're going to put it back on the heat here. Let that come up to a boil. That's my microwave saying your meat's ready. All right, once it starts to give a little boil, we're going to give it just a little bit of a stir here. Just a little bit. Now, I probably kind of messed this up a little bit because I see some chunks in there. But you know what? I like eggs, so we can turn the heat off. I like eggs anyway. We're going to add our vegetables to it. Something went wrong. But you know what? You got to take the good with the bad, guys. And I don't think the soup itself is not going to be bad. It's just got bigger chunks in it than what I want. But I've made it where the strands actually come out a little bit different here. So, and then we're just going to ladle that into a bowl. Ladle that into a bowl here. Got little chunks of onion in there. Oh yeah. It's still going to be good. Whether it's got chunks in there or not, it's still going to be good. And there we go, guys. Egg drop soup with chunks. Oops. All right. I'm screwing up here. Let me get my camera set up. No. All right. The ultimate test of making anything is what it tastes like. So we're going to spoon it in. See what it tastes like. I hope it tastes good. That's pretty good. It's nice and rich. The onions give it some flavor. But you know, I do need some of the crackers that go with it. That's pretty darn good, even though it doesn't have the strands. That's pretty doggone good. Egg drop soup. Try it at home. Give me some advice on how to do it where you don't get the chunks in there. And I'm sure it has to do with how fast you pour it in there. So some of that stuff went in there kind of fast, and so it probably clumped up, and I'm sure that's what happened. So, but anyway, the basic premise is the same. The soup is good. Try it at home. Peace.